Okay, so I'm here to do another tropical update here. I know we did the one the other day for the system we got going in the Atlantic. So let's get right to it. Hold on 1 second here. We'll get a map pulled up here, and hope everybody's doing well. I know there's been some pretty strange weather here this year here, but I hope everybody's getting through okay. Some severe weather to across the United States, especially the Midwest, central, middle part of the United States, but it's going to be pushing east here pretty soon. But let's get right to this here. Okay, so here we go with this here. We got this map here up. We got 3 areas of interest right now on the Atlantic. One that just started yesterday here. I'll get to a map in a second, visual in a second, but we have this system up here that's been persisting over the last few days or so. It's basically subtropical now anyways. It's not, it's just a shipping concern here at this point, but it's, like I said the other day, it's possible that it could get a little bit more better organized here as a subtropical system here, or extratropical system here, and that looks like it's happening, but it's nothing really. It's just a shipping issue, big waves and stuff like that. Very little convection around the center, so this is going to be moving off to the east, and maybe an issue for Western Europe at some point. But so that's that one there. Then we have this one here that just came off the coast of Africa. I think this was yesterday, and they're looking at this as like a 20% chance here. It's a very small window here for any of these storms coming off here, especially when we have this one here that's kind of taking charge over here. This is the one of interest for the next several days for sure. And as you can see, the other day when we did the video, it was at a 40% chance. But now it's starting to get a little bit better organized. And we have a message here saying showers and thunderstorms. They're calling this AL92. Showers and thunderstorms continue to show signs of organization and is associated with a tropical wave located around 800 miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Environmental conditions are forecast to be conducive for developing during the next few days. And I would not be surprised if this is classified as a tropical depression here in the next 24 hours for sure. And a tropical depression will likely form within a couple of days while the system moves westward to northwestward across the central Atlantic. So it's going to basically kind of take this path here, this cone path here. And it's got a 48 hours, got about a 70% chance to getting better organized, and the next 7 days a little bit more than that, 80%. That's that's a pretty good forecast. I mean, it's more than likely it's going to be a tropical depression here at least. But there it is. It's right in this parallel here again. I don't think this is going to be a threat to anything United States wise. But let's change maps here and get some sort of a we'll do I do want to do this here first, really quick. Here, let's do. So this is basically the image of the uh, U.S. coastline here, Atlantic U.S. coastline here, and you can see some of the weather that's been firing up here around. You know, I want to say, heading into kind of the central Midwest here, more west than Midwest here, and that's going to come into play today. Ridge of high pressure here that's really, really causing a problem. Um, I don't know if there's been anything tornadic here, but I know Chicago got hit a few days ago. And we'll go over that on our live next Sunday morning if we can. But there's going to be some more systems firing up here today along this heavy. It's been really nice and warm here the last week or so. Very humid, very hot, stuff that I like. But changes are coming, and you can see it coming pretty quickly here. It's going to get pretty cool here within the next few days. It's almost going to feel like probably fall here by the end of the week here with this drier air that's going to start settling in, and that's going to probably flare up some power storms here along this front for sure. And you can see it, just this jet stream here is just uh, dipping down here and causing all this warm air down here to the south to stay there, and it's just going to usher in some of this cooler Canadian air here. So I just wanted to give people an idea of that. This, like I said, I always, at this time of the year, I always look right out here on the coastline, because if some of these cool fronts here push off the coast here, they can get stuck in this, warmer Gulf Stream here. And if they sit out here long enough, and if there's any type of, circulation here, you might start seeing something form here. But we'll see. But I'm keeping an eye on this. There's a little bit going on in the Western Caribbean here by the Yucatan Peninsula. I'll be keeping an eye on that. Doesn't look like there's any circulation here. The Gulf of Mexico is out right now because of the upper air here. It's not. It's just anything that's forming here is getting sheared apart. And this is going to be a pretty much of a hindrance for anything that tries to cross through into the Caribbean here for sure. So let's change maps here. We'll do the tropical Atlantic here. Let's get right to the let's do this one here first. So this is the lightning density here. This is where the conglomeration of the lightning is around any type of system here. It's the intensity of it. So out here, let me put some. There we go. And let me rock this here because it's kind of. All right, so you're going to see, this is a 24-hour rocket, 12-hour loop. So right here, this other one that was kind of out ahead of this one here, kind of probably got in the wake of this one here, and it just kind of gobbled it up. Kind of that's usually what happens. These winds kind of get sheared here, and it becomes one big system here. It's probably down in here somewhere. But you can see with the rocking here motion, you can see almost a broad circulation area here where you have, stuff feeding into the center here and stuff going away from the center here. And that's telling me that this system here is trying to get its act together here better. There's a system behind it here too, but again, this seems to be a stronger circulation here, so that might prohibit this one behind it from getting really the attention it needs. But this one here, you can see it looks a little bit better today than it did the other day. That's for sure. And for the time being here, you start getting this migration here towards the west here, west northwest. Some of these winds start to lighten up a little bit here as far as shear. So it's going to have, I don't know, about a 4 the 6-day window here where it's going to have a little bit better um, environment to become a little bit better organized. So we'll check that out with our uh, and then of course there's our little system right there. Uh, uh, like I said, this here is a shipping thing, but it's looking better than it did the other day. But it's not going to be an issue for any land uh, close to us, anyways. That's for sure. But let's go to let's do this here really quick. Okay, so this is the cloud top phases. This is basically the layering of the clouds here within any type of system here, or any type of front. Or so this is, the blues down here, the lower clouds, and anytime you get to the higher cloud tops here, you're going to start getting them. They color those in for you, the yellows, and then the deep reds, and sometimes even purple if they're really strong. But this is the system here. Let me put. And this is a 12-hour loop. Let's do a 24-hour loop here. All right. So I just changed it from a 12-hour loop to a 24-hour loop. So within the last 24 hours, this is what it's done. Here's another system back to the east here. There's another wave that's going to try to come off the coast here within the next couple of days right there. But this is, almost perfect timing. It's almost like, you can see this stuff coming. It's mild, nothing, and then you get to around the middle of August, late August, early September, and then you start to see these cavalcade of storms just come off the coast here. And where this high pressure is set up right now here in the Atlantic, this is what's causing a lot of this convection here. So you can almost see it. You can almost, there's nothing in the middle here whatsoever, and that's telling me that the high pressure is causing all of these things to go either below it or around it. All right, so let me put some latitude lines in here, and you see the movement. It's got a little bit of forward movement to it. It's that's why I put the longitude and latitude lines in here, so I can see the movement of it. Within the last 24 hours, it goes from, if there's any circulation here, it's down in this area here. So it is moving a little bit to the west. Each 24 hours, it's probably moved about, maybe 12 miles an hour, somewhere around there to the west. And that's a big key too, is how quick these things start to move and how fast they're moving. Normal rule of thumb is the faster they move, the less likely they are to pick up intensity within the system here, where the slower they move. The typical storm usually moves, average is about 12 to 14 knots, somewhere around there. There was a couple last year, year before, they were really moving 20, 21 miles per hour. So it's but I don't think this is going to be that quick here. And then the other one behind it here is just kind of stationary. It's just not moving at all. But this one here is a little movement to the west. So I'm saying is about maybe 12 to 14 miles an hour at this point. But you can see some of the outer bands starting to kind of, get into the center here. And then, rotating, west to east up on the top here. So that's telling me that, it's getting a little bit better organized. That's why I'm counting on this to, I wouldn't be surprised within the next 24 hours, they call this a tropical depression. And I believe that'll be Tropical Depression 3 this year. I don't have the names pulled up in front of me, but it'll be the letter C, I think. But there's it's looking fairly good here. And there's our little system going on here in the Western Caribbean here. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but it's going to be pretty pretty stormy here for the Yucatan Peninsula, especially the eastern part. But anyways, okay, so let's get out of that there. We'll get a track and we'll get out of here. Um, Actually, let me get the water vapor quick. All right, so here's the water vapor here. This is basically the moisture that's in the air, the vapor of it. Um, and you see some of the Saharan dust here. There's our high pressure right there for sure. There's our little system up there in the northern Atlantic here. Um, and again, I'm still going to watch this stuff here um, off the coast of Florida and Georgia here. This has been interesting to say the least here for me for the past 2 or 3 weeks here. It's been persistent. And anytime you see that, there's a chance that this could circulate and rotate here. And then now we have a system out here that people have to look out for. And anything that forms here, in my opinion, has a better chance of hitting anything United States soil here um, in systems like this here because there's nowhere for it to go. Um, um, and it would really not be in too much of that shear here if it stays here long enough to, but we'll see. I mean, I'm really challenging myself on that there, but this is, yeah, I'll keep an eye on that, sure, for sure. But here's our little system here. It's an elongated system here. Most of the convection is basically off to, if there's any convection at all, off to the north. And it looks like it's getting some shear here from this drier air. But if it can stay on this linear here, and is this, whatever this is, it looks like it's Saharan dust, maybe with a little bit of, dry air here. But if it could stay to the south of this, it has a pretty good chance of, you know, becoming a little bit better organized if it goes right through this area here. And if you're in the Lesser Antilles here, you better pay attention to this here because if anybody's going to get anything from this, it's going to be these guys here. All right, so let's get out of this here. We'll get to I wonder if I can get to it from here. No. All right, so let's get out of this here. Like I said, I hope everybody's well. What am I doing right here? Okay. We'll check in with this really quick here. So you have a massive flood watch here, flood warning, flood watch. I believe this is in West Virginia here. Um, and it's going to get pretty wet pretty quick here. Right now it's fog and mist, but I wouldn't be surprised if these fired up again in the morning here when it starts to get warmer. All right, so let's go here to let's do something a little different today. Let's do actually let's go back. Is this invest here or something? No. Sorry, I'm just kind of that's not the one I want. Oh, that's not the one I want. This is investment. I don't know what this is here. Um, Sorry, I'm just playing around here for a couple of minutes here. See if I can get. Let's go. Gulf Coast. Uh, I'm looking for a specific thing. I apologize. No, I just got out of this completely. Um, Hold on one second here while I try to figure this out. Apologize. I can take you guys with me. Hold on a second here. This is what we call investigating here. All right, so let's try to do this here. Trying to see if I can get a buoy reading. Right there. Okay, so this is it's not gonna work. Um, Damn it. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing. This buoy's out. Fantastic. But I had it. I don't know how I found this, but oh well. All right, so let's just get well, we'll know how to get there next time, right there. Um, all right, let's go to a guidance here. Um, okay, so this is the GFS wave analysis here, and this is for the next couple of days here. And this is something new that I found the other day here. So this is the wave pattern here. The next, I think that was 7 days. So let's go back here. Hold on a second here. Well, we'll let it just keep going. I know it's a little bit hard for people to see, but here's Africa here. This is Florida here. This is Cuba, Caribbean islands here. And you can see from the beginning here, this wave is going to come right into this wave action is going to come right into the Leeward Islands here. That's the forecast anyway. So let's go back. Here it comes again. Here it comes. There it is right there. There's a little system right there. And once it gets past, I'd say this parallel here just rips apart. And that's what their forecast is now. All right, so let's very good. Okay, so here's the actual forecast here. And I'm going to stop this right here. And we did this the other day too. So 24 hours from now, it's going to be here's a system here. Basically taking a jog to the north, and then to the west, so northwest. And there it is again, right here. Basically, this is Saturday. This had a 72-hour forecast here, and it's basically going northwest here, uh, basically almost due west, with a little jog to the north. Um, and there's a little bit of a system behind it. And that's it. That's the GFS. This is the GFS. It doesn't know what it's gonna do after this Saturday. Um, so the one good thing is if it does get a center of circulation today, they'll be able to do a better job of forecasting this. Because the other day it kind of had this going into the Leeward Islands here and just stalling. Um, but right now they've changed this to where they don't know what it's going to do after Saturday. Um, so, and it seems to me like some of these westerlies are basically going to be the issue here. And I'm trying to watch some of these systems that come off the coast of America here. So that's Saturday. Oops. Saturday. So this is, there's really nothing here. So yeah, but that's for now. Let's go back to, let's do the GFS really quick here. Give it a 7-day. So this is the ensemble here. So this is a bunch of different computerized forecasts here. I forget how many there are in this. I think there's 12. Um, it might be more. I could be wrong about that. But this is an 18-hour forecast here. And you can see this is a lot more lines in here. So they punch a whole bunch of different buoy reports, shipping reports. That I was trying to get the buoy report over here. Um, and then they just punch them into a computerized system, and then they kind of plot it out that way. But the best way to do it is if you have a center of circulation, then you know exactly where the points are, and you can put your computers in that way. Um, uh, so here we go. It's much more, scientific that way than just guessing, because they're guessing at this point here. Because there's no, I mean, there's a little bit more of a circulation today than there was Monday or Sunday night whenever I did the first one, but there's still no definite center of circulation. So until you have that, you really can't. Um, but we've been tracking storms in the Atlantic for over 100 years now, and we pretty much know the Atlantic to to a reasonable. We have enough data, right? Um, and This is a little bit of a strange year though because of the El Nino. So I think that's why they're kind of being a little bit quiet on how they're trying to make sure that they get it right with some of these here. Um, but right now they have this. Let's go. This is 36 hour. So 36 hours it's crossed over this parallel now, going basically due west. Some of these computer models have this going more of a northerly track here. And I'm telling you, with these systems here, 40 miles could be a huge difference, depending on shear, water temperatures. But I know in this area here, this parallel here, the waters are perfect for, I mean, at least it has that going for it. But here we are on Friday, 66-hour forecast. So, it's everybody's pretty consistent here with where this is going to be by Saturday. And then this one here too kind of has this, you know, either petering out here or getting sheared apart, or they don't know. So, Who knows? And then here, this is interesting here. Uh, I'm definitely going to keep an eye here on this the southern coast here for sure. Because the ensemble here has something going on here within the next uh, week or so. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. All right, so that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'll give another update um, tomorrow if I have to when I come home. But don't be surprised today if they consider this to be a tropical depression, and it'll be, I believe, a C name if it becomes a tropical storm. Um, well, not a C name, but with the letter C. Not the C name, but a letter C. All right. Anyways, let me get out of here. I'm getting a little tired. All right. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll be bringing up updates uh, as much as I can here. But have a great week and stay safe. See you later.